Hi, it's Kathleen from Bailey Academy, mom of 5, homeschooling 2 of them, ages 11 and 14. Today I wanted to go over our history that we are doing together, even though one is in grade 6 and one is in grade 9. I'll explain how that works. We're doing Curiosity Chronicles. I mentioned this before in a video months ago when we did a quick unboxing, but I wanted to share more so how I planned it out, how I got it organized and stuff, because I know that some people are struggling with how to do that. So we are doing Snapshots of Early Modern History, Volume 1. We didn't do the first 2 that are in this series, but we have already covered Ancients and Medieval, so in other ways, so I wanted to start off with that. And so it comes, I don't know why I put it back down, but it comes with the textbook. Well, it says it's not really a textbook. Hold on. Okay, so this is the, I don't know if it's called a textbook or not. It's more like the stories, because Curiosity Chronicles is told in stories. So this tells you, it says like, Ted says this, Mona says this, Ted says this, Mona says this. You can read it out loud if you want to, with or without voices. I have the MP3s. You can get the MP3s, and so they actually will read it out for you with the accents of the people and everything. But there's also, images of what they're talking about. So we're going to, in a timeline at the bottom. So use this to read the stories or listen to the stories, and also follow along and look at the pictures and the timeline. So that is the one book. And then it comes with the, this thing is going to tip over. The instructor guide, which I will show you in a minute, but that tells you, books that you might want to add to it, and activities, what the activities are that you can add to it, and stuff like that. Student guide, which has the worksheets. And then that's all that I got with it, although there's another, I believe, timeline activity that you can get with it, but I'm doing it differently. The spine that they recommend you get, there's 2 of them. It says in the instructor guide. Let me look here. But so I had to figure out which of those I was going to get. So where is it? Okay, so the Kingfisher History Encyclopedia or the Usborne Encyclopedia of World History, or both. So I found the Kingfisher History Encyclopedia. It recommended the 2012 version. I could not find that for a price I could get. So this is the 2003 version, but we're not learning to that date anyway, so this should be fine. Fortunately, it came a little damaged, so I had to tape it up. So this is a giant book. This is obviously not the age we're learning, but it's an encyclopedia, so it has lots of information, lots of pictures. So what it is that certain times when we're learning about certain things, we will reference the actual pages that make sense for this time period. Okay, so what I did was, I like to, if you know me well, you know that I like to plan things out my way and not necessarily do it the way that it says. I made, and I will turn you around and show you up close in a minute, but I made a spreadsheet, and I wrote down the sections, the dates, the name of the chapter, and I made a spot for supplies needed and supplemental books and videos that I wanted to write down. But I basically decided, I used the instructor's guide, which, if you're not familiar with what the instructor's guide looks like, after the introduction and the book planning section or whatever, for each section, I will show you. It says people in this chapter, places and things in the chapter, so that you can kind of be ready ahead of time to know what's going on. Comprehension questions, what do you think questions, timeline notes, if there's map work or coloring work, and that is, then this does that for like chapter 1 and chapter 2, because those are both one section. So then in section 1, it tells you, so picture books, informational books, and chapter books that they recommend. Those are all optional, but you can, I use that to look at my library to see which of those we were able to get, and I saved them on my computer, on my library's website. You can make lists. So I made lists for section 1, section 2, so that what I did was, since school is almost starting, I just went to my library, went to section 1, and went put on hold, 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 and voila, I'm ready with those books as soon as I go pick them up. Then it tells you cross-references, so it tells you like what pages in the Kingfisher or the Usborne Encyclopedia that you can look for, hands-on activities and any information you need on how to do that. So for example, chapter 1 has an art activity and an advanced art activity. So I'm going to do the basic one with my younger student, the advanced one with my older student. It's got a Shakespeare word activity. We're not doing that because we've already done that. And a Minecraft building activity, which it has in every or almost every section. The first chapter doesn't have as much, I found. So like there's a Monopoly simulation later on. There's a writing a letter home. And of course each one has comprehension and what do you think questions. So what I did, oh yeah, this is the student guide. It has word searches and coloring pages, which we decided not to do because kids don't care about that. Map work, which we are doing, and like practice review and stuff like that, and a couple other things. So I will turn the camera around so that you can see my notes, and we'll go over what they're going to do. And then everything, I have one of these weird things. I printed off everything that they needed for each section, and it's in its own section. Okay, anyways, I'm going to turn you around. Okay, so this is what I made here. So it shows the date, section 1, Elizabeth in England, what the dates we're actually going to be doing it. And I included, like, if there's a day that we're taking off, like, I wrote that down, and I'll show it in a minute. It's chapter, I'll go back to the supplies and stuff in a minute. So, for example, my daughter is going to do only 4 days a week. My son is going to do Wednesday by himself. So I put this as a little bit darker. And then, so Monday, we're going to read the chapter or listen to the chapter, do the culture corner, which is like a separate part of that book, and discuss questions. We're just going to discuss them. My son, he's L, is going to do the timeline. What we're doing for timeline is we're just going to use the history timeline we got from School Nest that we keep forgetting about, and we're going to actually input everything in there. So he's going to make a little timeline entry. And then Tuesday, we're going to read the picture books that I put aside that we got for the library. And my son is going to watch a video. The CCEM is obviously, well, not obviously, but Curiosity Chronicles Early Modern. It's a Trello board that I found. The Facebook group for Curiosity Chronicles has a link to that Trello board that somebody made, and it has extra resources that you can use, and also how you can tie Curiosity Chronicles with other history curriculum. So if you wanted to add like River of Voices, or I forget what the other ones are called, but other ones that people, History Quest, I think, it has how those tie in. We're not doing that, but we're going to watch a video from that. Wednesday, by himself, he's going to watch a longer documentary that I found. Thursday, we're going to do the art and watch a little video about the artist, and my son is going to take longer to finish his art because this is longer. And on Friday, we're going to do the Minecraft activity. So it shows that. And then, so the second week, same idea. Every Monday, unless Monday has no school, like down here, Monday has no school, so we did it on Tuesday. We're going to do the chapter, the questions, culture corner if it has it. And then, so the second week so sometimes we do map work too. Why is it getting blurry on me? Sorry about that. Map work, timeline. We're going to check what it says in the encyclopedia. And then for the first week, there wasn't as much stuff. So I checked out a book. I'll link it below, but it's related to the zoology for kids and Shakespeare for kids that I've reviewed. It's Elizabeth first, Queen Elizabeth for kids, something like that. And it has different activities in it. So what I did was I got off from the library to get the activities I wanted from it. And then I we'll do those activities. So we're going to write our name in write your name in your own typeface. So we're going to make our own like kind of font type thing. On Wednesday, he's going to watch a documentary. And then we have some other activities. And then we're not officially doing school on this Friday, but we're going to eat marzipan, which we're going to make quickly. So yeah, it's all I did for everything. And then it shows like supplemental videos. I kind of like flaked on this later on, but the library list from section 1, the encyclopedia, we'll need the documentaries, which I saved on YouTube, art supplies that we'll need for the art project, the stuff we need to buy for the marzipan, things like that. And so I have that. I've the first until like January or February done on my computer. This I have printed out. Yeah, I have until February. Okay, so I have papers are not working for me. There we go. So like if we skip ahead, you can see I kind of like flaked on these sections here. But same idea. So we'll just skip ahead to section 5, November 3rd to the 7th. So chapter plus questions with Liam does timeline, encyclopedia, Liam does map work this time, Liam watches a video, a movable type video, and why did Korea split, and a turtle ship building challenge that only Arya is going to do, and so on. So you can kind of see there's a TED Ed. There's no school, so I wrote down if there's no school ahead of time, so I know to plan ahead of time for that and not just plan 5 days of work and then find I have to squish it into a couple days. So I don't know if anybody would want this because I don't know if you'd want to do it the exact same way as me. Let's let you look at some of these things. Later I ended up putting the links directly in so I can call it up and like go right to it. I realized that would be a good way to do it. But I definitely am missing something for here. I don't know what to do for this day. I don't have enough things. I will figure it out. I even put the Three Musketeers, half of the movie this day and half the movie this day, when we learn about them. So that is that. And then, like I said, I have this. It's kind of hard to flip it while it's open. So I have, like, that's the cube, sorry, for the art project. The map work, that's for section 1 or something, I think. I think it's section 1, not you know what. And then, like, each of those are ready to go. And I keep this right in the front of it. Alright, I just flipped right here to the instructor guide for a second. I just wanted to show you, for example, this is section 6, so jumping ahead. So it talks about the people and places and things in the chapter. And then we're going to do the questions. We're just going to open the constructor guide when we do the questions and discuss them. Timeline will be some of the things that, you won't necessarily write everything down, but some of the things that he's going to do in the timeline book. Map work, it says like what we're going to do for map work. And the coloring page we're not doing. And same with if there's like a word search or something. And then after each timeline, this is where it talks about the reading suggestions. So sometimes it depends on how many books we get. Will depend on. And if I didn't find a certain book, then I found something similar. I'll show you in a second another thing. But this has got the Monopoly simulation and other activities. So like sometimes you don't want to do every activity, so I have to decide which ones we're going to do based on how much time we have and what will work best for my kids. And finally, I just wanted to show in the textbook, or whatever you want to call it, the main book here. Just a sec, I gotta flip to the right page. At the end of a section, it has this want to know more section. So it tells you what you can research if you want to learn more about that time and place in history. So sometimes if I needed more activities, I looked there and I just looked up videos, documentaries, things like that about certain areas that I want to include. I'll flip you back around. So that is how I planned out Curiosity Chronicles. It may look quick in this video, but it actually took me a long time to make it. And of course, during the Christmas break, I will have to make the rest of the year, assuming everything goes well and we don't see any changes that we need to make. So far, we haven't like officially done any lessons, so I can't officially review the curriculum, but so far, so good. I'm liking it, and I think it'll work well. As you can see, like for my grade 9 to get a early modern history credit, he's going to be doing an extra day of work, like when he does timeline and sometimes extra things like that, or harder versions like where he did he's going to do the harder art. And there may be maybe he can do some of the reading on his own or reading out loud. So I'm going to make sure that he has enough work to be a full credit. And I'm expecting not better, but like more comprehensive answers from him when we do the discussion questions and prompts and things like that than I will be from my daughter. So that is how I'm going to work that. So yeah, if you have any questions about how we are working Curiosity Chronicles, let me know, and I will have a official review of what we think after we've been working on it for a little while. That is it for this video today. Thank you. Bye.